a place can be seen from the weather records of the past several years. The average weather pattern of a place taken over a long time, approx 25 years, is called the climate of that place. Different places in the world have different types of climate. The factors that determine the climate of a place are follows. Distance from the equator. Next one, that is the height above the sea level. The higher you go, the cooler it becomes. Third, that is the distance from the sea or from the high mountain range. Generally, places near the sea have a moderate climate. Neither they are very cold nor they are very hot. Mountains affect winds and rainfall, hence affect the climate. Next, that is the winds. Climate depends on the weather. Winds are hot or cold, humid or dry. Next, that is the amount of moisture, that is the humidity in the air. Let us take a few examples and see what does the weather patterns of these places tell us. The weather pattern tells us that it is cold in Darjeeling for most part of the year. Therefore, we say that the climate in the Darjeeling is cold. In general, the climate in the mountainous areas of North India is cool. Northeast India receives rain for a major part of the year. So we say that the climate of the Northeast India is wet. It is warm and humid throughout the year in the Chennai. Therefore, the climate of the Chennai is warm and humid. The climate in the Kerala is hot and wet. And in the desert region in Rajasthan, for example in the Bikaner, it is hot for most parts of the year. It does become cold in the winter, which does not last for long. There is very little rainfall. This hot and dry climate is typical for the desert areas. Now we will study about the effect of the sun on the climate. The earth gets heated by the rays of the sun falling on it. Near the equator, the rays fall vertically. As the latitude means the distance from a place from the equator, increases. If the latitude increases, the rays becomes more and more slanting. Slanting rays spread over a large land area than the vertical rays. Also, they pass through a thicker layer of the atmosphere which absorbs a large part of their heat. This means that land near the equator gets heated up more by the sun than that is comparatively to the land away from it in a given time. Also, the days are longer near the equator than the places away from it. The sun rises early and sets late near the equator. This also causes land near the equator to get heated up more than the land away from it, as it receives the sunlight from the more time. An interesting fact that at the poles there is 6 months of the day and 6 months of the night, and the sun remains barely above the horizon during the 6 months of the days. That is why it is so cold at the poles. Now, that is the time for a fact. Do you know? In the northern hemisphere, the longest day, that is the duration between the sunrise and the sunset. So, that is usually on the 21st June, and the shortest day is usually on 22nd December. Now students, we will learn more about this chapter in the next video.